Hello and welcome to a special edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I am going to have a look at Sequence Sudoku by Phistomefel, even though Pencil Mark has stolen my thunder by solving it on the channel already. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is because I had a go at it, obviously. Once Mark had done it, there was no pressure on me to record a video. But I did it in a totally different way to Mark, believe it or not. And I think that the way I found to do it is rather pretty. So I'm going to do it again. I don't care. So let me explain. Let me explain how I started, and you can see whether you think this is cuter. Now, because what Mark did at the start was Mark focused very heavily on these 6 cells, and he was able, sort of by analysing them, I suppose, to whittle down the options. But I think if we focus on this cell, it's really cute. What we can do here, it really is very beautiful, because this little cell here, we have to think about where it goes in row 2. And by Sudoku, it's not in those cells. And because it can't repeat on its own sort of whatever you call these sort of upside down, backwards and forwards thermometers, because it can't repeat on there, the yellow cell must go here in row 2. And why does this matter? Well, now consider these 3 digits as a unit, because these in effect are a sequence now. If these are a sequence, then if I delete that one and add it back in here, these are a sequence. But they're a sequence that can't involve a 3 at all. Isn't it? So this is beautiful now. These 3 squares now can't involve a 3, so they can't be things like 1, 2, 3 or 1, 3, 5. Their only options are 2, 4, 6, which is instantly ruled out, because that will put 1, 5 on this thermo, and I don't know what we're going to put in there. There's nothing that will be valid. So they're not 2, 4, 6. So they've got to be 4, 5, 6. And if they've got to be 4, 5, 6, that's sort of interesting for these squares, I suppose, isn't it? They've got to be 1 and 2, and the only way this will be a sequence is if we start with a 1. So 1, 2 and 3 all go into the grid immediately. But I don't think the beauty stops there. I don't, because let's just analyse these a little bit for a moment or two. Once you get a 5 at one end, if you try and put a 5 into yellow, you're going to have to either go 4, 3 or 3, 1, and this 3 prevents both of those. So that means there's a 5 on this sequence, and because of the options, basically, because 5, 3, 1 is not available, what we're going to have to do here, we can't go 5, 4, 3 either, so we're going to have to go 5 in the middle, surrounded by a 4, 6 pair. And why is this beautiful? Well, let me show you. I'll show you in just a second. What I firstly want to do, though, is I want to examine this sequence now. So, if this is a 6, you can see it's absolutely possible for us to go 5, 4. That doesn't seem to be broken. If this is a 6, we could also go 4, 2. That also doesn't seem to be broken. And if this is a 4, we could go 5, 6. And if this is a 4, we can't go downwards though. We can't use 3 and 2 because of this 3. So this is where we reach. Now watch. Now watch what we're going to do. This digit and this digit are obviously different. So this cell sees a 4, 6 pair. It sees this yellow cell because it can't repeat on its sequence, and it sees that cell by Sudoku. So that cell is just a 2. And once that's a 2, that's got to go 2, 4, 6, 4, 6, like that. And now we're starting to get somewhere. I think what I did next was I had a look at that one, I think. Can't quite remember what I did here. I think I noted that that could be 1 or 5. And if it's 1, you can see that this can't be a 2. So if this is 1, we have to go 3, 5 like that. And if this is 5, we can't go 4, 3. So we always have to put a 3 in the middle, oopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie, of a 1, 5 pair. So that's something that we can, I suppose, observe at this point. Now in this column, now you can see we still have to place 2 and 3. We've got to put a 3 somewhere, so by Sudoku that's got to go in that order. And this square has to be a 1 or a 6 by Sudoku. This has to be a 5 or a 6 by Sudoku, or a 1 actually. Those two have to be a 2 and a 1. So that's all fixed. This becomes a 5 or a 6. and then we turn to this line, I think. And yeah, so we can do what Mark did here, which is a clever thought, and that's to note that 3 has to appear in one of these two squares, and ask whether 3 can be on this sequence. And if it is, what's this digit and what's this digit? Well, if this is 3 and we go upwards, we've got to go 3, 4, 5. That doesn't work. If it's a 3 and it goes downwards, we've got to go 3, 2, 1, and the 2's clash. So that's not a 3. You get a 3 here. Now you can't put 3 anywhere on this line here. You can put 3 into the grid here by Sudoku, I suppose. But as you can't put 3 on this line anywhere, we have to again ask, what are the options? So it can't be 1, 2, 3, it can't be 1, 3, 5. So again, we're in the realms of needing to use sequences like 4, 5, and 6, or 2, 4, and 6. Now the key to remember there is that both of those sequences end in a 6. So that means however they're arranged, you're always going to have to put a 6 at one end or another, and that sees that cell. And that now the puzzle is done, I think. You have to fill that square in with a 1, that becomes a 1, that becomes, all of these just get filled in. That's not a 5 anymore, you've got to put the 5 in the middle of that sequence, I think. Although I didn't do that very rigorously, so let's not get carried away there, because I think, no, you can't put 2 at either end, so that is a 4, 5, 6 sequence, and that is fair enough. So this has got to be 4 or 6. This does have to be 5. This has to be a 4 or a 6. This has to be a 4 or a 6. These two squares, you can see, whether we put the 1 in column 3, we've got to do it that way around. That becomes 4, 6. That places the 4, 6 over here. These have got to be a 2, 5 pair. That square's got to be a useful looking 2. 2 and 5 go into the grid. We've got to put 6 and 1 into here, and those become a 4, 5 pair. And that's the puzzle done. So that's how I did it, and I think my way is better. So there. So yes, I just wanted to show you. I'm sorry I'm petty like that, but I actually think this is really nice. The colouring works like that, and I know Phistomefel is a patron, so maybe he'll let us know whether this was really the little secrets, or these were the secrets he embedded in his puzzle. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for watching the videos twice, if that's what you've done, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.